Hello everyone. Wanted to take some time to share with you the new icurio integration that's been built. I actually had the opportunity to meet with the CEO of Novation and expressed some of the concerns that we had about the product. So before I get started with the integration, I want to just share with you some of the things that he had to say. The first thing that he said was about the product itself. One of the great things about it is that when a website is added to the icurio or Novation library, it is maintained so that when that address inevitably changes, which they typically do, especially with college professor pages, etc., icurio manages that and follows the iteration of the next address, so it keeps it live. Well, if you have websites that you use on a regular basis that are not in icurio, you can actually pretty easily add that to the icurio library, and then you can be sure that that website will always be live. So that's one of the really cool things about it. The other thing, and I'll share with you a little bit later, is the text help feature. And this is something that they've added to and expanded on. So I want to share that with you as well today. So the integration works actually pretty well, and I'm going to go as quickly as possible to not take up your time. You can do this on any content page. I'm just going to actually use a module to show you this process. It's basically adding an external tool. And again, if you're familiar with creating assignments or even in the content page of adding an external tool, then you can do this pretty easily. So I'm going to add a module and call it icurio. I'll just call it icurio. That's fine. And then at the bottom, when I add content to this piece, I can just go down and click External Tool. And as I scroll down, I see icurio 1.0. But right next to it, now there is a little magnifying glass. And if you click on this, it opens this option for you to search immediately in the icurio library. So if I did a search for World War II, notice that I get a lot of different lists. Now, it's not as robust as if you're using the actual website, and you can actually look at that as well. But I do get an idea of the different type of content that's available and the rating. So I can click the link to take a look at what that looks like. And if I like it, I can go ahead and embed that. And what will happen is a student will not have to log into icurio. They'll actually be able to open that content page up. And then the nice thing is, rather than just copying the URL, this is going to allow them to have access to the icurio tools, and I want to show you that. So when I've added that external URL, you need to scroll down, and this is a really important part. At the bottom of this page, there's a button that you have to click for Load in New Tab. And if you don't do that, then the content page won't work and nothing will load. So I check that, I press Add Item. And now when you open this up, you can take a look to see what happens. It's just going to create a button that says Load this in a new window, which is just like a link, it's fine. But here's the nice thing. I have access to the icurio stuff up at the top. And before, it wasn't all that important. But now, they've really beefed up their text help. So a student could turn this on. And what they get is they get a pretty robust, and I've said robust a lot, that's okay. They get a really nice feature that allows the text to be read to them. So think to if they're reading a text that is a little bit difficult for them, or if they're struggling with a word, or if they're a struggling reader, and you still want them to be able to engage in the content. You can simply highlight a text. You can change the voice to a male or a female, the speed of the voice, and you can press play. Another feature that it has is you could highlight a word and you can get a definition of that word, or you could actually translate that from English to Spanish. And you can get an idea, and if you click on this, it'll actually play it. And you probably weren't able to hear the text being read very well because it's playing through my headphones, but it works pretty awesome. So those are the new features. I think it's a pretty valuable offering that icurio has, and it's going to allow you to have students engage in that content that you're looking for in a new way.